So I want to start this out by saying sorry for kind of the late upload. I know it's been a while. I kind of work a lot during the week and I just never really have like time during the weekends or like during the week to work on videos. It's mainly just on the weekends. And even still, like I gotta try to find time to do other stuff and all this fun jazz. So it's just been wild. But you know, we're trying out here. With that out of the way, you'll have to excuse my previous console gamer insolence, because I had no idea there were so many fast-paced FPS games like Doom Eternal out there. But the PC has just straight blessed me with so many bangers like Deadlink, Ultra Kill, and now RoboQuest. I honestly don't have anything but good things to say about this game. I mean, it is just non-stop fun from the moment you load in. RoboQuest is a brand new FPS Roguelite experience developed by RISE Studios, and it's currently available on Xbox and PC for $20. In this game, you play as a robot who's helping a human girl named Max take back her world that's being controlled by other evil robots. Simple enough, you know, nothing too crazy. If you don't know, roguelites are most notable by procedurally generated levels, which means each map is slightly different each time you play, permadeath, which will end the current run and make you start over from the beginning, and also meta progression, where you can carry over progress from one run to help your character in later runs. This is typically like currency or upgrades, things like that. The game launches with 15 different levels, but you don't necessarily have to fight your way through all of them to complete a run. As you progress, there's various checkpoints where you can upgrade your gear and decide the next route you want to take. The game typically gives you around 2 to 3 different routes that'll change up where you end up in your run. It's also worth noting that this game is only around 6 gigabytes, and that's insane for the amount of content in here. Before I get into the gameplay, I just want to mention I was using a mouse and keyboard this whole time, which typically isn't my preference. I've always been a console kid, so I'm more of a controller player. I will say though, this game makes me feel cracked on mouse and keyboard. Jumping straight in, after you complete a short tutorial, you're greeted with the base camp for the game. This is the main hub you end up at whenever you load in or finish a run. Here you can change up your classes or gadgets, upgrade your character, and a lot more. All of this stuff could have easily just been menu screens before you start the run too, but the actual base is really nice. It feels a lot more interactive, and it's a really appreciated addition. Speaking of classes, this game has 5 different classes or robots, each with their own perks and abilities. There's also a secret 6th robot, but if they wanted it to be that way, then I'll just leave it a secret here. I say secret because this one actually takes quite a bit of side questing work, whereas all the other ones are pretty much just handed out to you as you play. They're not all unlocked right away. Everyone starts out with the same first robot, Guardian, and the rest are unlocked through small challenges. I'm not going to go through all the perks and stuff because that would take all week, but I'll run through the special ability for each character real quick. Guardian has an invulnerability shield that can be activated at any time and instantly refills the cooldown when deactivated. Commando fires an explosive rocket dealing 90 damage. Ranger deploys a decoy and turns invisible for 4 seconds with increased movement speed. Recon teleports 6 meters, triggering an explosion. And Engineer deploys a flying friendly bot to help fight off enemies. The classes are a great addition that keeps the game fun and fresh. Roguelites are already notorious for replayability, but this just gives you 5 extra ways to change up the experience. Besides just the classes, this game has countless different weapons and secrets to change up the way you play. In total, there are 73 different weapons that can each spawn at different rarity and with different upgrades each time, so it's never the same gun twice. Moving on to the levels, each one has various different routes to take and secrets to uncover. Each one has these purple sections where you can complete a short agility course to unlock a weapon or upgrade. Some of these are really easy, but honestly there's some that are pretty tough. I've definitely taken some damage from a few of these. The courses change up each time, so you never really know what you're walking into. Next, there's these yellow sections that are typically more story related and have some sort of side quest to complete, whether that's cracking a code or giving an item to someone. It's also worth mentioning that there's periodic break rooms where you can refill on health and upgrade, or change weapons. And like I said, you don't have to play through each level to complete a run, but eventually you'll want to circle back to start exploring the new areas to try to find secrets and further open up the map, or even find quicker routes to the end. Kind of on the same topic of that, you're not really expected to complete a run in the first 5, 10, or even 20 attempts. They really want you to keep playing new runs to find out new things and grind out your base camp upgrades. Most of the time when you find a secret key or quest item, it's not even something that can be completed in the same run. You have to wait until the next one to check it out, whatever it is. Now I'm sure some people are probably Quake Pro champions in here and probably beat it on the first try, and that's all good. Everybody has their own way of playing. But you definitely get more from the experience if you take the time to uncover some of the game's secrets. Switching over to the boss battles in this game, I mean, there's some in here, especially in the later game, that are actually pretty wild. Instead of just making a bunch of absolute tanks with crazy health bars, there's actually a good bit of strategy that goes into each fight, and most of them are really good. This fight right here with the caterpillar is insane. You're zipping around trying to stay up on these rails while dodging bombs, lasers, acid, all while chasing around this Newton Cradle looking motherfucker. Each fight is also very different from the last. Each one has its own unique powers and environment you have to learn to beat them. Also, a side note, I thought about doing a tier list for the bosses in this game, so let me know if that's something you'd be interested in. Next, let's get into the multiplayer. What an incredible addition to a game like this. If there's anything that makes any game better, it's playing with a friend. RoboQuest features cross-platform play between Xbox and PC, and delivers the exact same fast-paced experience just with someone else. I only got to try the co-op a few times, but some things I noticed were the health of the enemies seems to be increased. Each player has his own dedicated loot pool, so there's no fighting over stuff, which is honestly great. And the game plays based off the lowest level player's progress, which means throughout the play experience you unlock a lot of secrets, but if you're playing with someone who doesn't have any of those items or paths unlocked, you're restricted from using them. Overall, the multiplayer is a great, very welcomed addition. The only thing I didn't necessarily like was the secrets not being unlocked for someone else if they're in your lobby. As someone who's found damn near everything so far, it could be a little frustrating trying to bring in my friends to do runs with me that are brand new because they're not going to have any of the stuff. But I mean, I can't really complain, I understand why, and I'm not like mad about it or anything, but it's definitely a mechanic worth mentioning. Overall, the gameplay for RoboQuest delivers an extremely fun, fluid, and fast-paced experience. They got the triple Fs up in here, but it's all S-tier development from the team over at RISE Studios. This game is really addicting. Alright, enough of all the gameplay stuff, let's just take a second to appreciate the absolutely incredible visuals and audio for this game, because it was definitely a very noticeable highlight of the whole experience. The trailers for this game really don't even do it justice. I don't know why, but everything just looks 100 times better in-game. The look of the game reminds me a lot of Borderlands, and they try to frame it almost like you're playing a character in a comic book. Each gun has its own unique comic book sound effect animation that you don't notice too much unless you're actually looking for it, but whenever you do see it, it just makes you happy. It's fun and adds a charm to the whole experience. And if you ever felt like it was too much, you can just disable it in the settings. The game also has cutscenes that pop up whenever you make it to a new major location for the first time. The scenes are just various still shots put together that make it feel like you're just reading through panels of a comic strip. Also, taking that approach made it so I didn't even really notice that they didn't have voice actors, because it just worked for the theme that they were going with. Like I mentioned earlier, the story's nothing revolutionary, but this helps add an extra layer of care to the game. Instead of just being some random robot committing atrocities against my own people, I'm the Guardian, or Ranger, trying to help Max fight forces of evil. And it just looks nice. It's an enjoyable little break after completing a level. Also, I know I say it in every single video. I mean, I could probably make a compilation of me saying a game has some banger music, but I swear, if this game doesn't win some sort of award for sound design, it would be downright criminal. No matter what kind of music you're into, there's no way you can play this and not just want to get up and start. I mean, it's just crazy the way a soundtrack can influence a game like this. It's almost like you can feel the game. It's not something that's as prevalent playing with other people because you're obviously like communicating with them and stuff, but when you're just in it by yourself, it definitely gets you locked in. Each level has its own track over it too, so each one feels new and unique. They have a good way of matching the particular level you're on too. The beginning levels start out pretty slow, but as the action ramps up, the music picks right up with it. Just so you can get a little taste of what I'm talking about too, I'm going to play a clip from one of my favorite rooms. Switching over to the bugs and issues, I mean, there's honestly not much at all to complain about. The game ran pretty flawlessly on ultra settings. The only problem I had the entire time happened while playing with a friend. We just got caught in an infinite load screen and had to reset. Luckily, it was still pretty early in the run, and it only happened that one time. I never noticed this issue while playing solo. Everything other than that seems to load up really quick. One more thing, not really a bug, I think, but this game is telling me it's locked at 60 FPS the whole time, and I can't seem to find a setting to increase it. The game feels like it's running unreasonably smooth for 60, but maybe I'm just tweaking, I don't know. Just thought I'd mention it because I was surprised to see it locked so low. Hopefully this is something that they can fix in the future. Overall, the gameplay for RoboQuest is unreal. I absolutely loved every second of playing this game. It's fun, fast-paced, challenging, and most of all, rewarding. When you're just in the mix, flowing through the map, and every shot is hitting, there's almost no better feeling. And it's not just some brain-dead run in, shoot things, run out. Like, they tried to build onto this game with the secrets and the little side quests you have to do, and there's honestly a lot of content for the price. Like, this game really impressed me. If I had to wrap this all up into a rating today, 1 to 10, I think it's gonna be a 10 for me, coach. Now, for those of you keeping tally with all the reviews around here, yes, this is gonna be my first 10 out of 10 I've given, and I fully stand behind it. In terms of FPS roguelikes, this game feels perfect. They fully delivered on the experience they promised, and I can't think of anything that ruined that for me. I'm also not even sure what I would add or change. They really have everything figured out in here. If you're a fan of FPS games or roguelites, or both, I highly recommend giving this guy a try for yourself. I promise you won't be disappointed. That's gonna about do it here for the review today. If you've also been playing RoboQuest, leave a comment down below and let me know what you think about the game. Also, if you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more content like this. This has been Lunar, and welcome to Bound.